Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest in the Fox Sports studios today. He was the voice of ECW, now the voice of multiple companies, including Evolve, Chikara Pro, Beyond Wrestling, but he's also a brilliant mind for the business. Find him on Twitter at Joey Styles. He's got an announcement. Joey Styles, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys very much for having me on. I wouldn't say I'm the voice of all those other companies, but I am a voice for Evolve and Beyond Wrestling and Chikara. So I'm one of the voices. So thank you very much.
Of course, we're happy to have you. Now, you're a voice for multiple companies in a certain way, which I think leads us to what we want to talk about, your announcement. So without further ado, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think the news was just broken that WWN Live, which is the parent company of Evolve, is licensing all of their live shows and their back catalog to a company called FlowSports.tv. And this is a company that started out years ago with a couple of guys in a sleeper van, and one's a former amateur wrestler, the other was in track and field, and those are two sports that don't get coverage all year round. Unless there's the Olympics, nobody really cares, or the national championship. So they started covering all these sports, then they went to live broadcasting, and of course, online broadcasting, as you know, is all the rage right now, especially if you can go live. So it looks like FlowSports.tv launched another channel. I think it's their 12th channel, FlowSlam.com, and they're looking to become the network of indie wrestling is their plan. Apparently, they're looking to acquire more and more companies.
That's incredible, Joey. Congratulations! And what's kind of the big role in the hand that you're going to be taking in this new launch?
Realistically, I'm just still going to be lending a hand as a talent for Evolve. I do color commentary with Lenny Leonard, who is their steady play-by-play guy. He is fantastic. He is a major league talent. So I do color, which is fun because basically the color man doesn't do any work. The play-by-play man does all the prep work and all the work, and the color man just has to analyze the holds, or should be able to analyze holds, and be witty. And I just do color commentary, and I'm also the authority figure for Evolve. So I'll come out, and if I don't like the way a match ended, I'll restart the match and that sort of thing. Oh. But I really love Evolve, especially when they run this one venue called La Boom. It's actually it's a Latin nightclub in Queens, and from the outside you wouldn't know it was anything. And you step inside and you can check out the footage, and it looks just like Full Sail Live at Full Sail University, where WWE tapes NXT. It's got LED lights all over the place. It's gorgeous. So it's got 500 seats. So out on Queens Boulevard, you're looking for a parking space, and you walk into La Boom, and inside it's gorgeous.
So essentially, it's like most of New York. It looks like nothing on the outside. You walk in, it's incredible.
And it's expensive. Exactly. Yes, that's it. And you can't park.
Who wants to drive in New York? Not me.
So
wait a minute. You're in LA. You can't. Apparently, from what I hear from everybody, you're in bumper to bumper traffic all the time.
Well, listen. Today Obama was here, so it was extra horrible.
This is how bad LA is. I met a guy yesterday who was in an Uber and got struck by a Lyft car. That's how messy it is in LA. I'm not kidding.
So the channel, what at this point is set to launch for catalogs of wrestling? Is it just Evolve? Are they acquiring anybody else? Has anyone else been acquired?
So far, they've only announced the 5-year licensing deal with WWN Live, which is Evolve. There are rumors about other companies that they're speaking to. I don't want to repeat rumors because I don't want to be an unreliable source.
Sure.
But I know for a fact they are going to be approaching companies that produce monthly shows, especially if they do live broadcasts, because that's really what they want, is live broadcasts. But they're also going to approach companies that, if you release monthly DVDs, there's no reason that instead of just being out there selling DVDs or your own video on demand, that you can't license it to a big company like FlowSports that just did a round of $21.2 million in funding a few months ago. It was reported in the Wall Street Journal.
So essentially, obviously the DVD era is kind of slowly on its way out. And so with FlowSports, they're not actually acquiring companies. They're basically acquiring the rights to broadcast the companies, like say iPay-per-views. Is that something they're looking forward to? Like maybe a $10 pay-per-view, stuff like that?
Yep, they're doing licensing deals. So they're not looking to own any of these wrestling companies. they are licensing the live pay-per-views and the back catalogs.
Basically, it's combining all of these with one price. So instead of going to all different separate streaming possibilities and saying $10 here, $5 here, it's all for one. You pay one price, and then you can watch whatever you want. Essentially, almost like its own like network in a way.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, because I mean there are some hardcore fans. Let's say like myself, I'll always be a fan, and let's say I'm giving my my $10 a month to Be On Demand, and I'm paying $8 a month to Chikaratopia.com. Now I'm already up to 18. Now let's say I buy an pay-per-view from Evolve for $20. You know, that gets pretty pricey, whereas what they're looking to do, they being FlowSlam, is just go ahead and license all of the major indies. So it'll be $20 a month for fans, or even better, if you pay $150 up front, which comes out to $12.50 per month. Not only do you get all the content of pro wrestling, you get all the content of all 12 of their sites. So if you're into track and field, or you're into diving, or you're into amateur wrestling or badminton or everything else they cover, and I know they're expanding to, I believe, 17 next year.
I see cheerleading here. I see swimming. I see rodeo, for God's sake.
Well, you're looking at weird websites right now, Johnny, so be fair.
Is it cheerleading? Wait. Yeah, let's be honest. Are you looking at FlowSports.com, or are you looking at a cheerleading rodeo website?
I'd rather not discuss that right now, but on FlowSports.tv, there's Flow Cheer, Flow Softball, Flow Combat, Flow Grappling. Oh my God, there's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, Flow Combat is MMA. Flow Grappling is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is a beautiful art form. Most of the most successful UFC fighters have black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But yeah, so from what I understand, from what I've been told by Flow Sports, is that if you pay the $150 up front for the whole year, you not only get FlowSlam, but you get all the other flows.
All right.
You have a cacophony of flows, if you will.
Well, aside from FlowSlam, what's
going
going on in the life of Joey Styles right now?
I'm starting a new job in sales for an online website soon. It has nothing to do with wrestling, so I'm not going to bore your fans with it, but that's what's really going to keep me busy. But that still leaves me every weekend to go have fun and announce for Chikaratopia.com, Be On Demand, and now apparently I'll be announcing Evolve on FlowSlam.com.
There will be no lazy Sundays in your future, that's for sure.
You know, this is what I did 20 years ago. I was selling print advertising. Remember print?
Yeah.
I was selling print advertising for News Corp, and then on weekends I would go down to Philly and do ECW, and then go back to New York City on no sleep and do my day job. And now I'm 45 instead of 25, but I'm in better health and I have more energy, and I'm going to do it all over again because I can.
Nice.
I'm always interested in the devices that this is going to be on. I know you talked about a TV service, but will it be an app? Will it be available on gaming systems? Where is FlowSlam going to put themselves?
Excellent question. Well, obviously you can see them on desktop. You can see them on mobile web. They'll be on Apple TV 4, which is the newest Apple TV. They have a Roku app on their digital roadmap going forward. They do have the Amazon Fire Stick, the PS4, the Xbox One. There's no timeline yet for when they will be on those platforms, but they do have every intention of being on every single platform.
So this essentially would be a step up maybe from, say, Fight TV. Fight TV right now is more or less strictly an app. The goal is to make this almost like a Netflix in a way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for example, right now I can go ahead and watch Flow Sports on my Apple TV, because I do have Apple TV. I'm not a Roku guy. I have Apple TV. But I can get the big screen experience on my big screen. And again, like I said, at some point, hopefully next year, it'll also be on PS4 and Xbox One. But, I mean, if you have, I mean, you can do AirPlay from your iPhone to your TV now, or your iPad to your TV. I mean, it's amazing because Apple TV doesn't have an Amazon app on it because they're competitors, but I still watch stuff on Amazon Prime that I just use AirPlay to, and I send it up to my Apple TV and it plays. So,
Nice.
Trust me, if you're tech savvy, you can watch anything on your TV.
That's amazing. I'm glad that it's ahead of the curve too in doing that, because people get particular about what devices they want to watch it on, and it's great that it's accessible in that way.
Yep.
Yep, and it's going to be more accessible, and they're just going to keep adding more and more sports. I don't know what else there is. I don't know if there's going to be Flow Dungeons and Dragons.
Curling, Joey. Curling. Come on.
Flow. I enjoy curling. Curling is awesome.
You're American. You better enjoy curling.
Curling is so much fun. It's so easy to watch. It's so easy to grasp. I'm sure it's very difficult, but it's colorful. They do the overhead shot. That might be the only thing I watch during the Winter Olympics. That and hockey.
It's the only sport you can play while also eating a hot dog. That's pretty awesome.
Okay. All right.
Right? One hand's free. Other one, you just got to curl.
I could do badminton and a hot dog easy.
So we can't let you go without talking a little bit about ECW and just all the amazing history there. So, Scotty, take that away.
Halloween's coming up, Joey.
Wait a minute. Wait, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Carlin. I'm talking to Scotty. Somebody's missing.
Oh, well, Dale's in D.C.
Yeah, Dale.
Yeah.
Where's Dale? I heard Dale was a big fan. He liked ECW. He's a huge wrestling fan. The big muckety muck who asked me to come do your podcast. I'm not going to mention his name. He probably doesn't like that. Said Dale's a big fan. He wants to talk to you. And then Carlin tells me Dale's not on the show.
He's got a headache today.
He's 3 hours in the future.
An extreme headache.
Dale's got a headache. Dale's got a headache and blew off Joey Styles for a headache. So he couldn't even. Wait, let me get this straight. So I understand if he didn't want to Skype in or FaceTime in. Dale couldn't even put his smartphone, assuming he has one, even if it has a flip phone.
He has an Android.
He has what?
An Android.
All right, he has an Android. So he couldn't put it on speakerphone and even call in just to say hello. That's how little Dale thinks of Joey Styles. What is Dale's Twitter, in case fans want to let him know?
Oh, yeah, it's at The Walking Dale. I think a Twitter beef is a must at this point.
At The Walking Dale, I certainly wouldn't want to make trouble for at The Walking Dale. But for any fans who think that at The Walking Dale disrespected me because he's got a headache and didn't even want to call into the show, those fans should tweet at The Walking Dale and let him know I'm not going to judge him. No. Far be it from me to judge somebody else or make trouble. But wrestling fans who tend to be very opinionated might want to tweet at The Walking Dale when they're also tweeting to at Beyond Wrestling, at WWN Evolve, and at Chikara Pro.
Get out your proverbial...
I'm a human promotion machine.
Get out the proverbial pitchforks. Let him know.
Let him know. Let him know. Oh, my goodness.
So we got to talk a little bit about ECW. I mean,
Sure.
Well, Scotty, get into it.
Okay, Halloween coming up, Joey. If you were to dress as any ECW wrestler or personality from the past for Halloween, who would you dress up as?
I would dress up as my buddy Tommy Dreamer because it really just entails putting on a T-shirt and a pair of track pants. I mean, that seems like the least amount of trouble. See, if I'm going to be, I'm still very close with Tommy Dreamer, who runs House of Hardcore. You can check him out at the Tommy Dreamer on Twitter, at House of Hardcore is his wrestling promotion. They'd be a great target for FlowSports. And Taz, of course, has his own show live daily for competitor viewers. Can I say CBS? I just did.
Okay.
So TazShow.com is live every day. So I would either dress as one of my friends, but Taz wore a singlet and he had a very, very deep skin complexion. So that would involve spray painting myself a combination of dark brown and orange and wearing an orange singlet. Whereas Tommy, you're really just talking about painting on a goatee, a T-shirt, track pants, and, a kendo stick.
Now, we can't talk about Tommy Dreamer without asking you to give your best Tommy Dreamer impression. You got to lower your energy a little bit.
Yeah, have you had Tommy on your show?
No, not yet, but I'd love to.
Tommy is nothing like his character. Tommy's so easygoing. Like, yeah, whatever. Tommy, oh man, we missed our exit. It's all right. Just drive around. You get the next one. It's fine. Tommy, they don't have our hotel room. That's all right. There's another hotel on this road. There's got to be lots of hotels in this town. He's so low key, and then you get him in the ring, and he slaps you across the face with a kendo stick. He pile drives your girlfriend. Oof. He DDTs you. The real Tommy Dreamer is completely different than the Tommy Dreamer you see in the ring, whereas the real Taz is worse than the Taz you see on TV. He is just so overly aggressive and paranoid and angry. I used to call him the most miserable man on the planet, and he's gotten a little better because now he's got a wonderful wife and he's got a son who's going off to college on a lacrosse scholarship, but he is just He thinks the whole world is out to get him. And I'm like, Taz, you have a live daily show on CBS. Whoever it is who is out to get you is doing a horrible job, really. So I think you can relax. They're not very good at their job. It's probably Dale.
Yeah.
It's probably Dale.
Yeah.
Dale's job is probably to derail Taz's career, but he's got a headache, so he can't make it to work.
And he doesn't like New Yorkers. That's a fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's Dale? Dale's from what, D.C.?
Well, he's from here, but he lives in D.C. currently, so that's where he's at. Right
No,
now.
he's from
Georgia.
Georgia.
Well, from Georgia originally, sure. But,
Yeah.
but he lived in L.A. for a long time.
I lived in Georgia for 18 months. It was like witness protection.
I lived in Maine for 19 years, and I've lived here for 10, so I can't say I'm from here. So you can't say Dale's from here.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
He's from Georgia,
He's from Georgia,
and he doesn't like New Yorkers.
and he hates New Yorkers.
Why does he hate New Yorkers? What's the problem?
I don't
What's
know.
the problem?
New Yorkers are adorable, aren't they? Usually.
We're fast. We're aggressive. It's the center of the world in terms of money, although I think that's moving to China. It's probably going to be Hong Kong or Beijing very soon.
Yep.
So once again, New Yorkers who have a problem can tweet at The Walking Dale as well as any wrestler. So at The Walking Dale doesn't like New Yorkers, and he didn't think enough of me to even call into the show.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That's at The Walking Dale.
So
Great.
needless to say, you might not see Dale on FlowSports anytime soon. Is just my guess, but that's okay.
Well, Joey, at this point, it seems you're not to judge or anything like that, but say you were to play matchmaker on one occasion and you're to take someone from ECW to match up against Dale, who might that be?
Oh, to beat Dale up?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, Taz, I would totally turn. I mean, now, absolutely. Now, at official Taz is gonna probably hear about this, so he can tweet to at The Walking Dead because Taz is from New York.
Yep.
He's from Brooklyn.
Uh-huh.
Now, of course, he's got a lot of money, so he lives in his big house on Long Island, but he still works in Midtown Manhattan for a competitor of yours. And now Dale, at The Walking Dale, can deal with at official Taz.
Well, I do have a question because that era was so incredible. But let's say besides Taz and New Jack, who was the most intimidating individual to be around during the ECW days?
Wow. Well, besides Taz and New Jack, you understand that you're naming a bunch of pro wrestlers and Tommy Dreamer and Taz. New Jack was not a pro wrestler. I don't know if anyone ever trained him to wrestle because he couldn't wrestle worth a damn. There was no wrestling there. Basically, he hit people with whatever blunt objects he can find and whatever objects fans gave him. He's a former bounty hunter with 3 justifiable homicides. Wow. I assume that's why he's not in jail for said homicides. He's also been involved in other incidents I'm not going to discuss on this show because I don't feel like getting drawn into lawsuits, which may or may have passed their statute of limitations. But yeah, New Jack is by far the most intimidating because he wasn't a wrestler. Other than that, I would say Perry Saturn, who was a trained athlete and was an Army Ranger, and I used to say it on the air and it was true. He had actually jumped out of more airplanes than he had been on flights that landed. Absolutely terrifying person.
Well, this has been not only awesome but very unpredictable. We now have a feud between Dale Rutledge and Joey Styles. That's kind of cool.
That's gonna make the deep cuts on YouTube
deep
for
cuts.
sure.
This is gonna be a best of episode, guaranteed. We're gonna love it. And but yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And this is a really cool endeavor. And we always talk about how this is a golden age of wrestling right now. It really is because so many companies are finding ways to thrive, and it's great when companies can find a way to work together and coexist, and this seems like a really, really good idea. So congratulations on being involved, and thanks for telling us about it.
No, thank you very much for having me on the Wrestling Compadres. This is awesome. I'm a big fan of Fox Sports, FlowSports. .tv and their involvement in indie wrestling was a big deal. So thanks to Jacob and thanks to the 3 of you for having me on.
Joey Styles, thank you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.